Good. Well, it got real quiet, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Texas City Council. Today is Monday, June the 10th, 2024. I would like to welcome all of you who are joining us in the audience this evening, as well as those who are joining us via live stream. We certainly appreciate your attendance and your participation this evening. At this time, I'll call on our City Secretary, Ms. Jennifer Evans, to provide a roll call. Ms. Evans?
Ms. Page? Mr. Metter?
Here.
Ms. Hart?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Ms. Matlock?
Here.
All right, we do have a couple of vacancies this evening, so I will be voting on matters that come before the council this evening as well. Our invocation and pledge will be led by Councilmember Cole Metter. If everyone will please stand.
Bow with me, please. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you for the gathering that you've so blessed us to have. Thank you for the opportunity to serve this great city. As we hear action items and members from our community, please let us hear it in good faith and make great decisions for moving forward. In your heavenly name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. We have a rather large audience with us this evening, and once again, I do appreciate your participation and your being here this evening. We do have a couple of announcements and presentations to make this evening in reference to our agenda. First is to recognize the Liberty Ilo Leopards baseball team, and they are the 2024 4A state champions. And they won a state championship last week in Austin, Texas at Dish Falk Field, which is the field where the Texas Longhorns play. And I had the opportunity to umpire on that field many years ago, and there's a lot of history associated with that particular field. And so we are delighted this evening to have with us the Liberty Ilo baseball team, and we also have head coach Zach Fowler. Assistant coaches are Rick Fowler, who is Coach Zach Fowler's father. We also have Craig Jones. Craig has brought home previously 2 state championships when he was the head coach at Pleasant Grove. And we also have Coach Ricky Rushing this evening. And so I see these guys from time to time during the regular season as my other venue of being a high school baseball umpire. And every once in a while, the conversations that the coaches have with me are somewhat elevated voices, but that's okay. So anyway, but certainly enjoy having the opportunity from time to time to officiate their games. They're very respectful, very talented team. And so at this time, I would just like to call Coach Zach Fowler to the podium and just perhaps have Zach to reflect on this season, maybe throughout the season, playoffs, anything that might come to mind that might be very special, and then your experience going down to Austin and playing in the state tournament. And, you know, there are 5 rounds as far as the regional play, and then you go to Austin and you still have to win 2 games in order to win a state championship. And so there's a lot of pressure and a lot of talent. So as you move throughout the playoffs, the games get a little bit more difficult with the type of play that's involved with teams that other teams are playing. So Coach Fowler, thank you once again for being here and having your players here, and I'll just turn the floor to you, sir.
First of all, thanks for having us. You know, we're blessed and honored to be here. Representing Texarkana in the state tournament is always, you know, the goal. These guys, I think, hopefully made this you know, community proud, this town proud, surrounding areas proud. All I can say about this group all year is the word grit comes to mind, the word toughness, and every coach you talk to that played against us kind of reflected those same words, where it's all about toughness, how mentally tough they are. And I think that embodies the people of Texarkana and, you know, kind of this area as far as how they work, how they get after it. So I think the character of the town was shown by how they play. You know, it was awesome. I know I can speak for these guys. I actually played in '06 and we won it in the first time. And there was not near the, you know, media, you know, everything surrounding this team, you know, so much positivity from the Texarkana area, from businesses. we felt all the support. We would see the pictures from like Lost Pizza or certain businesses. Mayor Bergerman sent me one today from Bubba's 33 saying Liberty Aloe state champs, and they're opening up now. So just the support was felt. I know not everybody can make it down to Austin. It's a long trip. But we definitely felt the support as this group of guys got after it. They knew what they were representing, and they played for the town, and they were able to bring it home. So we're proud to be able to do that. Once again, this is a baseball-rich area, always has been, and these guys have added to the tradition and hopefully contributed in a positive way to the way Texarkana is viewed.
Okay, well, good. Was there a yeah? Was there a particular game or a particular moment during a game that may have been like a turning point or something that occurred either on or off the field that really kind of solidified everything as far as, hey, we've got a chance here? So
yeah, when your head's down and you're just playing, you don't really look at where you're at, and then at the end you kind of look up like, man, we did it. But during the time, I go back to game three against Farmersville. That's the one Colin Evans got the big hit to win it. In the last inning it was a walk-off. That team was really talented and really could have gotten us out of the playoffs early had we not have responded well to, some of the challenges in that series. I think we really improved from that series, and I also think the game one against Salina when Gabe Jarvis came up with the big two-out hit to, walk it off in game one, I think that kind of springboarded us to another level. Where this group knew they could beat anybody at any time. So I felt like those two moments in the game were, probably like if you said aha moments, like those two kind of stood out to me. Also, some of the most fun you have as a coach is a walk-off win. So that's like, hey, let's do that all the time. But then the other one was like, we talk about this, they were there. University of Texas, the old locker room where Augie Garrido's yelling at his players in that one video, and he used words we can't use here. But we were hanging out in there before the state championship game, and we started telling stories. We were there pretty early. They let us in, and we started telling stories about the year. So that was probably one of my favorite moments, just being with a group of guys and getting to tell stories like, hey, remember when this happened in practice, or remember when Coach Fowler yelled at us on the bus, or whatever it was. And that memory is always going to stick with me. Just being loose before the game, that final game, and those moments within the game that happened. But it's a special group of kids, and we just had a great time with them this year. And it doesn't come around very often, and we're just proud of them as coaches. And they took us all the way, and were able to represent everybody. So it was a lot of fun, and those moments stick out to me, and I don't know what sticks out to them, but that's definitely going to stick out in my mind forever.
Well, very good. That's excellent. Coach, any other coaches want to make any comments, or any players? I mean, the floor is open. If anyone would like to say anything, you're welcome to do so.
They like to talk. I'm surprised they're not up here.
Yeah.
Nobody's running up.
Yeah. So I had the opportunity to go out and do a little quick send-off when y'all were leaving town the other day, and so I appreciate the opportunity of doing that. There was a lot of support there when you all were leaving to head to Austin, and so you're right, there's very strong community support with athletics, especially with baseball, of course with football as well, and we're a very, very strong united community when it comes to athletics. Dr. David Orr, our city manager, is an alum from Liberty ILO, so he's pretty happy this evening too. So
Yeah, I just want to leave off saying thank you to the whole city, because it really was, like, it was amazing the support we got, and it was flooring to see like how many people were behind us as we headed down. So thank you for coming out, and then thank everybody that did support us, and food donated, just a shout out on Facebook or something, like all that stuff was seen by us and felt by us. So we appreciate it.
Okay, very good. Anybody else with the team have anything that you may would like to say? Okay. Okay, covered it? Okay, well, good. So what we'll do, if I could ask the players and the coaches to come up front, we're going to take kind of a group photo, and council members, I'd like to ask y'all either join us down here or stand at your stations, and we'll do a quick group photo, and you all are welcome to stay for the remainder of the meeting or part of the meeting. If you have other things that you need to do this evening, you're welcome to leave upon completion of the photo op. And thank you for signing the baseball. short. Of course, they went to the championship game last year and just came so close to winning that game as well. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much for being here. And we'll take a quick photo, and then we'll be moving on with the rest of our meeting. So.
I can't see you, you can't see me. 1, 2, 3.
Coach, we can say kale, though, right?
Yeah, just, I wouldn't say it out loud.
It's a pleasure.
All right, we're still taking
That's
pictures.
good.
Did you get yours, what you needed? Okay, very good. All right, let's give them a nice round of applause. Congratulations. All right, good job. All right. Appreciate it. Good job. Good job. All right, good job. All right, congratulations. All right. All right, you're welcome. Congratulations. All right, Rick, good to see you, buddy. All right, have a good summer. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations. All right, congratulations. All right, have a good day. All right. Coach, have a good summer. Okay, all right. Good to see y'all. Thank you. Okay, all right. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. All right, as we move along with our meeting this evening, we have some more exciting news to share with everyone this morning. And this reference is in reference to the Texarkana, Texas Police Department's Police K-9 Field Award. And I believe we have Chief Schutte with us. Is Chief here? There he is. Okay. Chief, if you don't mind, if you could come up and just share the great news that we've received about the special award that our K-9 officers received. Y'all be real careful and quiet, okay? All right, Chief, congratulations. Good evening. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, members of the community. I know when you got here this evening, you wondered, what in the world's happening? I mean, why do we have all this security here? We've got an announcement to make tonight. We are very proud of our K-9 unit. These guys have been working really hard with the K-9 team that we have here. A lot of you don't know, but our K-9 officers do regular patrol work, or they're assigned as investigators, and this is just a collateral duty that they have, which means not only do they put in full shift work, but they have to spend a lot of time outside of their shift, both taking care of the dog, which is a lot of maintenance. You wouldn't really understand how much it takes to just take care of the dogs, their health, all the things that goes along with it, in addition to the excessive training that they do with these canines on a daily basis and a weekly basis. They have to keep everything clean, their cars cleaned out, and it's just a big responsibility on top of what they do as police officers for our community. These particular dogs have participated in a couple of different trials, they call it, competitions. One of them was a regional trial that we actually hosted here in Texarkana during the summer. Several of our businesses helped to sponsor that for us, and we're very appreciative of that. But we had the regional trials here in our community, and both dogs did very well in the regional trials. Thor, who is a dual-purpose dog, he does both apprehension, bite work, and narcotics detection, was the top dog in the region. And so we were very proud of that. He got a big award for that, and so that was something that was great. And both of these dogs qualified to go to the Nationals, and they just returned from that a couple of weeks ago, where they went to Wichita Falls, I believe it was, and participated in the narcotics detection national finals there. And both of the dogs placed really well, and I'm happy to report that our K-9 team for the Texarkana, Texas Police Department is #1 in the nation. Wow. And so that's great. This is Officer Cole Breedenberg, and this is his partner, Thor. We've had Thor for how long now?
This will be 2 years.
2 years. Thor was Rookie of the Year his first year out in the canine trials. And so he's a really, really good dog. Cole does a great job with him. The dog can't stand him, but anyway, we're very proud of that. And this is Officer Aaron Lewis, and I love the name of his canine. His canine is a single-purpose narcotics detection dog, and his name is Absurd.
Absurd.
And so we always think that's pretty unique. But both of these guys do a great job in our canine program. They put in many hours to reach this level of competency, both as a handler and as the dogs are able to really do some stellar work. These guys are on call all the time. It's not just our department that uses them. State police calls for drug narcotics detection on the interstate during patrol work. Absurd there is assigned to our special investigative unit where our narcotics unit is housed, and he goes on search warrants and does things like that to assist with the detection of narcotics. One of the good things about the dual-purpose dog is not only does he do what we call apprehension or bite work, he also does narcotics detection. He does article searches. And I will tell you that we use our patrol canine 98% of the time for article searches and things like that. It's very seldom do we have to use it for apprehension, but when we do, he's effective for that. We call him a four-legged shotgun, but he does a great job, and Cole is good. Thor's temperament is very friendly. You can pet him, you can do whatever you want to do. He's very social and just a good dog to have around. And Absurd is very intimidating because of his size, and he sounds like, I don't know what when he barks. He's just got this big old loud bark, and so he's pretty intimidating, but he's just a big old puppy as well. And so we're proud of him. We wanted to present him to the citizens, let you know the hard work that they've done, and we're proud of that. Aaron will be going back to the narcotics trials next year, I'm sure, and Cole will be going to the patrol apprehension canine trials in October in New Orleans, I believe. And so we'll be seeing if he can be the top dog in the nation for patrol work as well. So on behalf of the Texarkana Police Department, I want to thank these guys and thank you as a community for making it available so that we can have resources like this. It sure does help us as we're trying to do the things that we have to do in the community. So guys, congratulations and thank y'all.
Thank you, Chief. Officer Breedenberg and Officer Lewis, is there anything that you all would like to share with us? Or you're not required to, but if there's anything you'd like to say, you're welcome to.
I'd just like to say thank all of y'all. We do a whole lot of work, and luckily he gets all the glory for it. He makes me look good, but thank everybody for giving us this opportunity.
So, very good. Well, let's give Officer Breedenberg, Officer Lewis, and then Thor and Absurd. Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it very much. That's just absurd. All right. Okay, at this time, we'll move along to our mayor's remarks and items of community interest. A lot of events coming up in our community. I'm going to go through those, and if there's someone who's out there that says there's nothing to do in Texarkana, well, you're not engaged. So let me go over some things that are taking place. Council, as a reminder, our council meeting for the month of July will be held on Monday, July the 8th. And then our council meetings in August will revert back to 2 council meetings in August, Monday, August the 12th, Monday, August the 26th, 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. In reference to Parks and Recreation activities, June the 13th to the 15th, the annual American Legion Baseball Tournament will be held at Spring Lake Park. June 14th through 16th is the Tennessee Softball Tournament, and that'll be played at Grady T. Wallace Park. June 20th and every other Thursday after, we'll have popsicles in the park from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., and this will be located at the Spring Lake Park Rotary Splash Pad, which is in the central part of the park. On June the 20th, we'll have our featured movie, Movies in the Park at Dusk. The featured movie will be Barbie. And once again, that's at Spring Lake Park in the vicinity of where the airplane is there in the park. On June the 21st to the 23rd will be the District 44 State Softball Tournament at Grady T. Wallace. June the 22nd is the Mac Telvin Agam Day, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., and that's at Spring Lake Park. And then our collegiate baseball team, which started just a few days ago, the Texarkana Rhinos, will have upcoming home games at George Dobson Field. On June the 11th, they'll be playing the Joplin Outlaws. On June the 12th, there will be a doubleheader with the Joplin Outlaws. And then June the 20th through the 22nd, we'll be playing the Joplin Outlaws. And then on June the 21st, there will be a fireworks show on that particular day. So I'll make you aware of that. June the 27th, they'll be playing the Piney Woods Timber Hogs at Spring Lake Park at Dobson. And then June the 30th is the Piney Woods Timber Dogs once again. For additional information about Parks and Recreation activities, you can contact the city by calling the city or go to the city's website. In reference to other activities, the Summer Farmers Market will be held every Saturday in June and July. The Farmers Market days will be from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. A new location this year in front of the courthouse area at 500 North State Line. And then we have some upcoming citywide Juneteenth celebrations. On June the 15th, we'll enjoy the Juneteenth Parade, Festival and Southern Soul and Blues, an R&B concert featuring TK Soul, Donnie Ray, Michael Rhodes, and more. DJ Hollygrove will be spinning the hottest tracks on Front Street in downtown Texarkana. On June the 22nd, we'll experience the Keeping History Alive production at Texarkana College Stillwell Theater. June the 29th, come and see Terry Rogers' 3-on-3 basketball tournament at Washington Community Center. And don't miss out on this family-oriented, unforgettable celebration of freedom and community. Downtown evening event, Texar Credit Union presents local bands, Brews and Bites on June the 21st, featuring the Moss Brothers from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. outside in front of the Pro Theater on Main Street. So a lot of activities coming up in the near future in our community, and ask that you take part with those. At this time, we belong to our open forum, comments from the public. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to address the council, you're welcome to do so. If you are here this evening to speak on behalf of one of our public hearing items, we ask that you please wait until we get to that particular item. We'll be more than happy to listen to your comments at that time. And then ask that you also complete one of these yellow sheets that can be found on the book rack next to the wall. Vanna there is showing us where that is. And so I do have one sheet that's filled out by Mr. David F. Green, and he would like to address the council in reference to possible train derailment. And so, Mr. Green, if you'll please come forward. If you'll please state your name for the record, you will have 5 minutes to address the council, and welcome to our meeting this evening.
Name's David Green, lifelong resident, 40 years of traveling shutdown constructions, couldn't sleep when I was on the job. Come home, I'd sleep like a baby when I'd hear these trains click, 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 click. Last year I was hearing one go pound, pound, pound. Last 2 months I've been tracing it down. Half a mile south of Bowie Miller Bowie, intersection of Feeney Street and Kansas City Southern. I find 15, 20, 30 of these brake pad shoes have been exploded off because of the trail subsidence, hitting a frog that's wore out. These frogs are put in a concrete base of 50,000 pounds and they're bolted in. This probably is a grade 8, 30,000 pound. Was blowed out of this frog. This is one of 4 pieces of sparks with the rails. The wheels are harder than the rail. The rail alignment's bad, it'll scrape on the rail, those sparks off. I picked up 3 of these. Last month, I'm on Arkansas side, but I could hear the pounding at nighttime. City Council meeting Arkansas side. That's not our problem, it's Texarkana. Google up East Palestine, Ohio train wreck, 15 months last year. Their $1.4 billion expense. It was 1,500 gallons of flammable vinyl chloride that exploded up with these 43 tanker cars. Because the heat sensors wasn't a localized temperature sensor on the wheel, it was a sensor laying in the bottom of the track. This East Palestine has videos 20 miles from the little town before it derailed. The back third of the train was on fire. Been on fire for 20 miles. Ran across 3 of these heat sensors are supposed to register flames and stuff. I gave all these folks in the Arkansas side 10 or 12 of these last. Anybody like one of these? Button drive to put, it's 30 minutes, about 20 videos. It could be edited down to about 2 videos, like 2 or 3 minutes. I make 50 of these up. I talked to everybody in authority here, and now I'm going to the people. If you Google us up, you tell me this is not right. When that train hits this intersection, this
Mr. Green?
explode.
Mr. Graham, I'm going to ask you to please come back to the podium so that we need to be sure that we have a verbal record of yours. Yes, sir.
If anybody would like one of these to see what's going on, like I said, I gave this information to both city councils last month. Oh, those chunk of coal bounced out of and it was exploding across that intersection. Well, both councils asked me, well, who did I contact? Well, who did you contact?
Well, as a follow-up to your visit from last council meeting that you were here, the city staff did make contact with Union Pacific Railroad to inquire about this matter, and we're awaiting to hear back from them with a response. So we did follow up
Did
based
y'all have
on
a
your
chance
concerns.
to view these thumb drives?
Well, we had a cyber attack a while back, and so we have to be very careful with receiving things like that. Not trying to belabor the point, but we have to
That's what I was
be.
explaining too last when I talked to both of y'all. See, I believe you told me y'all had a secure computer y'all could put them on and look at them. I don't know what else to do. You asked me what I'd done. You said what y'all done. Maybe we won't have a derailment. Think of 60 tanker cars, 34,000 gallons of flammable fluid or hazardous material coming from Union Pacific, derailing underneath the Texas Viaduct, dragging off 30 or 40 tankers, exploding, blowing a mile in the sky, 2 million gallons of fluid floating through all the creeks on this part of the country.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Appreciate your time. Brandon, do you want to say anything? We have our IT director here. Thank you, Mr. Green, for your time this evening. Does anyone else like to address the council this evening? All right. If not, we'll move along to our next item on the agenda, which is appointments to boards and commissions and committees. Do we have any appointments to be made this evening by the council? All right, hearing none. Move along to our items for consideration. We do have several items this evening, a total of 6 items on the We do have 6 items this evening on the consent agenda. Item 1 is to consider approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council held on May 13th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Item 2 is ordinance number 2024-057, ordering a special election for Tuesday, July the 30th, 2024, to fill the vacancy for the position of council member of Ward 3. Item 3 is resolution number 2024-062, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Holistic Utility Solutions for the Revenue and Water System Loss Audit Project in an amount not to exceed $200,000, with the Texas portion not to exceed $118,660, with funds available in the utilities 2023-2024 budget in the Texas Capital Improvement Fund. Item 4 is resolution number 2024-063, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract for the Spring Lake Park 6-inch water and sewer relocation project in an amount not to exceed $233,351.40. Funds are available in the utilities 2023-2024 budget in the Texas Capital Improvement Fund at $233,351.40. Item 5 is resolution number 2024-064, approving an interlocal fiber optic network agreement with Pleasant Grove Independent School District. Item 6, resolution number 2024-065, amending the highly qualified professional services providers for future architectural projects. Unless a member of the council would like to remove one or more items for further consideration, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as it has been presented. Is there a motion for approval? We have a motion by Councilmember Matlock, a second by Councilmember Hart. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The consent agenda has been approved. We'll now move along to our action items. We do have 2 action items on the agenda this evening. Item 7 is resolution number 2024-071, approving the Texarkana Airport Authority to sell 8.179 acres of land to Harvest International Ministries for $139,349. And I believe we have Mr. Paul Merlick, our airport director, with us this evening to provide some additional information in reference to this item. Paul, good evening. Glad to have you with us.
Good evening. So almost about a year and a half ago, we came before the city council to purchase 8 acres along East 19th Street. We had done so for approximately $80,000. At that time, we had said that this sale of land was meant to offset that cost, and then any additional revenue would be going into our capital budget for future matching for projects. The land in question is along Arkansas Boulevard. It is across from the runway, across Highway 67. That land was all purchased back in the 90s as part of an effort to buy land that would protect our runway protection zone, which on your drawing is the hatched area. It gave us some excess property, which goes right up against Harvest International Ministries property where they're going to be building their church. They approached the airport then to purchase that so that they could expand, and I believe they're going to build some parking as part of that facility.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Merlick on this item? I just have one quick question, Paul. So I noticed in our packet that we received there was an appraisal that was done on this property back in May of 2022, and I think the appraisal came in at $135, if I'm not mistaken, or somewhere in that area. So is the sales price, was it kind of based on that appraisal, or?
Yes, it was based on the appraisal. Part of the conversation that had come up was initially we were going to sell slightly less property to him, and through discussion with the FAA, it turned out we were not going to need to get basically that top corner of our runway protection zone. Like a little bit of that is currently on Harvest Ministries property, and we were going to do a land swap as part of that. Now that the FAA has indicated that in the next, they will no longer support the crosswind runway for federal grants, we didn't see the need to obtain that property. And so instead, we were going to sell him a little bit more, and it ends up with us a little bit ahead what we had originally looked at.
Okay.
But yes, it is based on that appraisal.
Okay, and so within that 2-year period, you think that that value would still be relatively the same as it would have been then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. It's the only question I had. Any other questions from the council on this item? Okay, Paul, thank you very much. Appreciate your time this evening. Appreciate your service. Council, we do have this scheduled for consideration this evening, so is there a motion for approval of the resolution? We have a motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, was that Mr. Davis? Yes. Second by Councilmember Davis. This is a resolution. It's not an ordinance, so it does not have a caption. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The resolution passes. Moving along to item number 8, resolution number 2024-072, approving the Texarkana Airport Authority's 20-year master plan. And we also have Paul once again to provide some information to the council in reference to this resolution. Paul?
Quickly, that's the mouse up here will, okay. All right, so the airport has just been through its master plan process. This is required by the FAA for us to be able to receive federal grant funds. The master plan itself also works as a blueprint that we can as a public document, so that way the city's planning groups, the MPO, and local communities can also be aware of what the plans are at the airport. The 20-year plan will be reviewed in 10 years, and that's just because as you go through projects that are on there, sometimes you're not able to meet all of the different things that you wanted to do, or something will change along the ways that make us need to kind of pivot and adjust. So it is always reviewed at a 10-year period. Our last one was done in 2003. The last 2 projects on there was building the terminal and then the 500-foot extension. Everybody needs to understand the master plan itself is not a blanket approval of all the projects that are on there. As we do projects, we still have to come forward to both the city councils as well as the FAA. This just allows them to kind of figure out their funding for the next few years. This process went through 3 public meetings, and we did have 4 project advisory committee meetings. We ended up having 2 additional comment periods for our immediate neighbors of the airport with the airport board itself. The airport master plan, it looks at your environmental considerations, the existing conditions. You do forecasts to determine what the future growth will be at the airport and then what kind of facilities those would need. You do alternatives to what that development would be. You create the document, which is the airport layout plan, which then shows us where everything will be on the airport. Then you do a facilities implementation plan to determine the priority of what projects you will do, and a financial feasibility analysis to say how will we fund these projects. The project advisory committee consisted of representatives from the Arkansas side, the Texas side, airport tenants, the general aviation community, state representatives, regional economic development, as well as federal representatives. We did have 3 public information workshops, one in March of 23, one in July. We did one on the Arkansas side convention center, one on the Texas, and then finally at the airport's ARF building to make sure that people on both sides were aware. And then we invited the immediate neighbors directly in March and to the April Joint Cities Board meetings. So the plan is that we will inevitably close the crosswind runway. We will use that taxiway to be able to support wide-body aircraft. Our intent is to work on the left side of what you're looking at, which is the 500-foot extension. We will develop from that direction, though we do include the potential that in the future, if there's demand from cargo and other heavy aircraft, that we could extend an additional 1,200 feet. Again, you can see this is a very robust kind of plan. Right now, working with the Ready Group, we have already 2 groups that are interested in those first 8 hangars. And then what we would do is focus on developing around that closed crosswind runway. And we just wanted to make sure that over that 20 years, if we start having companies come in, that we had set aside, kind of an idea of how we would develop there. So this will be pretty much where we're looking at for probably the next 8 to 10 years. And we already have some funding for that 500-foot extension. And then later this month, we'll be meeting with some of the state representatives so that way we can do that strengthening project to increase capacity for wide-body aircraft. So at this point, we've now also gotten the Arkansas side to adopt it. We would now have you guys adopt it if that is okay with you, and then it will be sent to the FAA. It takes about 6 to 8 months for them to actually come back and accept it. They do not approve it because they don't want you to feel that they're approving those projects. They just indicate that it's accepted, and you can move forward from there. Any questions?
Any questions from the council on this item? I'd like to recognize Mr. Rob Sitterly in the audience this evening, who is the director of READY, who also serves on the Airport Authority Board. And with him is Mr. Dean Berry, well-known community advocate in our, in our community. So thank you all for being here with us this evening as well in your service to the community. Any final questions or comments on this item? Okay, very good, Paul. Thank you very much. Appreciate the update. And as a reminder, we'll have the grand opening of our new airport terminal on June the 28th at 11 a.m. And so we're looking forward to having that. And I believe the first flight is due to take off from the new terminal on July the 1st. Is that still the schedule? Okay, so we look forward to that event coming up in our community as well. So at this time, is there approval for the resolution that's been presented?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Davis and a second by Councilmember Hart. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The resolution passes. All right. Thank you all very much. We'll now move along to our first briefings. We do have several first briefings on the agenda this evening. Item 1 is resolution number 2024-060, supporting the city's application to the Texas Historical Commission to become a certified local government. And we'll have action on this particular item on July the 8th at our next council meeting. And this same schedule holds true for the other items in reference to the first briefings category. We have Vachille Fernandez, who is, we have Daphne Ryan. I just went blank. The dementia kicked in for just a second. So Daphne, thank you for being here, and we look forward to your remarks this evening.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This resolution is to support the city's application for certified local government through the Texas Historical Commission. The Certified Local Government Program was formed in 1980 by a congressional amendment to the Historic Preservation Act and formally recognizes a partnership between local, state, and federal governments to enhance preservation. The Texas Historical Commission administers the program at the state level, and the National Park Service is the responsible federal agency. So the purpose of the statewide CLG program is to just ensure the broadest participation of local governments in the National Historic Preservation Program and to maintain standards consistent with the National Historic Preservation Act and the Secretary of Interior's standards and guidelines. It's to develop and maintain local historic preservation programs in cooperation and coordination with the state. And it also provides financial and technical assistance to further local programs. So the benefits of it is access to technical assistance, workshops, and other trainings, as well as to yearly grant programs that help local historic preservation programs. The CLG grants, if we are awarded any, require a one-to-one match, but they allow CDBG grant funds to match that program. So it would not require any general funds. On the list of requirements to become a certified local government, this resolution of support is one of the final steps. The Historic Landmark Preservation Commission recommends approval of this support, and staff recommends approval also. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions for Daphne from the council? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that briefing.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 2 is resolution number 2024-066, adopting the Community Development Block Grant 2024 fiscal year annual action plan and authorizing the city manager to submit said action plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And now we have Vachille Fernandez to brief us on this particular item. Good evening, Vachille.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you mentioned, this resolution is to adopt the annual action plan for the upcoming fiscal year for our community block grant funds. So the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development has provided the city of Texarkana, Texas with community development block grant funds, and it requires the city council to adopt the CDBG annual action plan and present funding priorities for these funds. And so We have a 30-day review period of the drafted action plans, and the goal with that is to get public comment in the public. The review period starts today and ends on July 10th. We also have two public meetings, which is this public meeting, and then the next council meeting is July 8th. And in terms of getting out legal notice, we've published it in the Texarkana Gazette, in the Amigo News in Spanish, and it's also available on the city's website. We also have a survey that's online. People can submit comments through a survey online, and we have electronic copies on our webpage as well. And we also have physical copies here if anyone requests to have those copies. And so if you look at your packet, you'll see kind of a breakdown of how we plan to allocate the funds for this next fiscal year starting in October. In terms of public service, we've been working with Mission Texarkana doing a litter program. We've also been working with Haven Homes. We've been working with some of our programs in our neighborhood in Roselle and in Beverly with the Amachi Youth Services. And we also have some sidewalk projects planned, as well as working with our Parks Department. We have some housing repairs, as well as working with our code enforcement to do some demolition as well. I am happy to answer any questions that y'all may have about this.
Questions for Vashil? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving along to our first briefings, Council, just items number 3 and 4 are interrelated, and so I'm going to read the captions on both of these at the same time, and then Michelle Daniel is going to brief us. Item 3 is ordinance number 2024-067, revoking specific use permit S 586 for an off-premise outdoor advertising billboard on Lot 1, Arklatex Realty subdivision located at the 4600 block of Gus Orr Drive, formerly 4610 St. Michael Drive. Item 4, ordinance number 2024-068, granting a specific use permit to allow an off-premise outdoor billboard on Lot 1B, replat lots 1 and 2, Arklatex Realty subdivision, located in the 4600 block of Gus Orr Drive. Keith Orr, owner, and Kayla Wood, MTG engineers and surveyors agent. Michelle?
Good evening, Mayor, and good evening, Council. So this first one is to revoke a specific use permit for the billboard that is located at the southwest side of the property. And then the specific use permit that we are asking for is to relocate that same billboard to the southeast side of the property. The reason that we are asking for this is because the city is going to expand Gus Orr Drive, and so therefore the billboard would need to be moved out of the way. The future land use map has designated this property as regional commercial. It is zoned general retail currently, and it is vacant land. The adjacent zoning is agriculture to the north, I-30 to the south, and general retail to the east, and commercial to the west. And the land use is vacant property to the north, I-30 to the south, retail to the east, and a new hospital to the west. Staff and Planning and Zoning do recommend for approval of the revocation and of the new specific use permit with the following stipulations: that all city codes be met and that the sign cannot be placed inside public right-of-way or public utility easement. And I'll be happy to answer any questions y'all may have.
Okay, any questions for Michelle on this item? Okay, or these items rather. Item number 5 is ordinance number 2024-069, rezoning from single family 2 to single family 3 on the east half of Lot 1, Block 40, Flower Acres Addition, located at 2802 Flower Acres Road. Greg Fomby, owner. Michelle?
Good evening again. And so this is a request to rezone 2802 Flower Acres Road from single family 2 to single family 3. The intention is to place a single-wide HUD code manufactured home on the property. The property is currently vacant. The future land use map has designated this property as suburban residential. The adjacent zoning is single-family 2 to the north, south, east, and west. The adjacent land use is residences to the north, south, east, and west. Staff and Planning and Zoning do recommend for approval of this request, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Michelle on this item? Okay. And then we have one more, ordinance number 2024-070, granting a specific use permit to allow a single-wide HUD code manufactured home on the east half of Lot 1, Block 40, Flower Acres Edition, located at 2802 Flower Acre Road. Greg Fomby, owner. Michelle?
So this is a request for a specific use permit for a single-wide HUD code manufactured home located at 2802 Flower Acres Road. And again, the property is currently vacant. Staff and Planning and Zoning do recommend for approval of this request with the following stipulations: that one 2015 or newer single-wide HUD code manufactured home be allowed on the property, that the HUD code manufactured home be tied down or skirted and underpinned, and that the single-wide HUD code manufactured home be used for dwelling purposes only. The specific use permit will be in effect for 3 years. And if the manufactured home is not placed on their property within the 3-year period, the specific use permit will automatically be revoked. All other city codes and ordinances must also be met. And I will be happy to answer any questions y'all may have.
So Michelle, the photo of the mobile home in the packet here is, how is this related to this?
This is the actual mobile home. It is
Okay.
currently at another location, and the owner wishes to move it to the vacant lot at 2802 Flower Acres.
Okay, so this is the actual home to be moved. Okay.
Yes,
all
sir.
right. Thank you.
Will the address have to change? Will it have to go to the Pickering address with the facing of the house, or will that matter?
I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure. So, but I'll look into that and get you an answer.
Any other questions from the council? Okay, thank you, Michelle.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the updates. This time, move along to our public hearings this evening. We do have a total of 4 public hearings. Item 1 is ordinance number 2024-054, rezoning lots 34 through 42 and 45 through 51, Midland Edition, located at 300 Savannah Hill Drive, from general retail to commercial. Patrick Hill, owner. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Dr. Orr?
Mayor, we, I think, missed one there. It should be 2024-053.
Oh, did I miss one?
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let me back up. So actual number 1 is ordinance number 2024-053, amending PD 02-13 for the site plan approval on Lot 4, Block 6, Richmond Development, 5th Subdivision, located at 3408 Arista Boulevard. Katie Atwood, owner. Kayla Wood, MTG Engineers and Surveyors Agent. So at this time, I declare the public hearing open on this ordinance. If anyone would like to speak on this item, please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Davis. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Matlock. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending PD-02-13 GR for site plan approval on Lot 4, Block 6, Richmond Development 5th Subdivision, located at 3408 Arista Boulevard in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ordinance passes. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Okay. All right. Okay, we'll now move along to item number 2, ordinance number 2024-054, rezoning on lots 34 through 42 and 45 through 51. Midland Edition, located at 300 Savannah Hill Drive, from general retail to commercial. Patrick Hill, owner. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing item on this particular item. If anyone would like to come forward, please state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance? Motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Davis. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Texarkana, Texas, by rezoning on lots 34 to 42 and 45 to 51, located at 300 Savannah Hill Drive in the City of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, from general retail to commercial, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ordinance passes unanimously. Item number 3, ordinance number 2024-055, rezoning Lot 1 and 37 and half of Lot 2, Witt Edition, located at 3309 New Boston Road, from general retail to planned development commercial. Richard Seals, owner. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to address the council, please come forward. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Councilmember Hart, second by Councilmember Matlock. Ms. Evans, the caption.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Texarkana, Texas, by rezoning on Lot 1 and 37.5 feet of Lot 2, Witt Addition, 309 New Boston Road, in the City of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, from general retail to planned development commercial, containing a repealer clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ordinance passes. Item number 4 is ordinance number 2024-056, granting a specific use permit for one additional use of permanent cosmetics on lots 7 and 8, block 29, Guy-O Fish Boulevard Edition, located at 3218 Texas Boulevard. Brian Calloway, owner. Marianne Hawkins, agent. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to address the council, please come forward. This time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Matlock. Ms. Evans, the caption.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning map showing the location, boundary, and use of certain property by the granting of specific use permit number S-788 to allow one additional use of permanent cosmetics in a tenant space on lots 7 and 8, block 29, Guy-O Fish Boulevard Edition, located at 3218 Texas Boulevard in the City of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes. We have one more public hearing. It relates to resolution number 2024-059, authorizing the city manager to execute addendums and subordination agreements to 4 loans with the Texarkana Grimm Housing Partners, LP, for the Hotel Grimm project. This time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to address the council, please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the resolution?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Davis. This is a resolution, so there's not a caption. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes. This concludes our public hearings portion of the agenda. We'll now move along to the city manager's report. Dr. Orr.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a few updates to pass along to you tonight. First off, a sales tax update. So for May sales, which was the month of March, totaled a little over $2 million. That's an increase of 1.98% compared to the same month of the prior year. The fiscal date collections have totaled 10.6 million. It's a decrease of about 2.59% compared to last year. However, excluding the February adjustments from a local energy company, fiscal year date collections are about 1.2% positive compared to last year. Joint Budget Advisory Committee recap, just real quick. Many of you attended the City Council Joint Budget Advisory meeting that was held on Tuesday, the 28th, in preparation for the FY25 budget. I want to thank everyone that was able to participate, and I think each year we build a better budget through this process. And so we will send out additional updates over the summer, including certified values, which will occur from BCAD in July. And then we'll also have the Riverbend decision on the Riverbend rate increase coming shortly as well. And just again, want to thank Kristen and her team for just a stellar job every year putting together the budget. And it does take a lot of time and staff effort to do so. So appreciate that.
Thank you, Kristen.
And then finally, I want to mention Neighborhoods USA, otherwise known as NUSA conference, took place in Lubbock, Texas, May 22nd through the 25th. And we sent a delegation to Lubbock from our neighborhood associations. And at the Neighborhood Awards Luncheon, Rhonda Dolberry and Chiquita Burks, and I believe they're both here tonight, were presented with an award for runner-up of the Neighborhood of the Year competition. This is the third year in a row that Rose Hill Neighborhood Improvement Association or the Scholars have taken home awards for their work in the Rose Hill neighborhood. So we just congratulate them and appreciate all the work that they do in our neighborhoods and all of our neighborhood associations for the work that they're doing each and every year.
I think they deserve a round of applause for that. Chiquita, Ms. Dolberry, thank you very much. Ms. Dolberry, she's real hard to pick out in a group. So glad to have you with us. And Chiquita, thank you for the award. Congratulations. All right, Dr. Orr.
You mentioned the save the date. Just once again, the terminal grand opening will be Friday, June 28th, 11 a.m. And we have the address there as well. Again, the new address on the other side of the airport. So I appreciate Paul and his staff and all the work that they've done with this whole project, and also marketing people to make sure to remember to go to the new side of the terminal airport. If you've seen those ads recently, they've been very well placed. So that's it.
Very good. All right. Anything else, David?
That's it.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. Once again, thank you for great work on the budget in conjunction with the Budget Advisory Committee. We appreciate that very much. We'll now move along to administrative comments. Any comments from the council this evening? Anything to pass along? Okay. Excuse me, any final remarks from the staff this evening, Dave?
No further comments.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, unless there's any further business to be brought before the committee, if not, for the council, if not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hart, a second by Councilmember Davis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. We are adjourned. Thank you all very much for being here this evening. We certainly hope you have a great evening.